Want to learn how to make a showstopper side dish that can go for a side dish for meat, or it can be a standalone plant-based entree. Today I'm going to show you how to use a seasonal squash and pumpkin to make a farro risotto. It's creamy and delicious and so easy to make, and it tastes terrific. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first thing we're going to do is turn on our heat. Heat up our pan. We're going to use olive oil today, so we're going to heat the pan up and put the olive oil in, because remember my motto, coal pan butter, hot pan oil. So if you're going to cook with butter, you want to start with butter in a coal pan so it doesn't burn. But oil can stand up to heat, so you want to heat the pan and put the oil in till it shimmers, and that's when you know it's ready to cook. So I have my stock heating up on the stove here, and I'm going to put my hand here to see if it's ready yet. Not quite. If you put your hand in, you can feel it's warm. It's a good indication that it is ready to cook. I like to use this heavy bottom pan, wide pan. This is actually a risotto pan. It's a braiser pan, and it works perfect for risotto because it has a lot of surface heat, which will evaporate the stock faster, and it'll go into the farro or the rice if you make risotto with rice a lot faster. So it's a perfect pan, but you can also do it with a skillet too, just a large skillet. That works great too if you have it. So the ingredients I'm going to be using today are going to be some onions and garlic. I have some farro here. Now farro is an ancient grain, and this is an Italian dish, very classic Italian, to make risotto with farro. I also have some cooked pumpkin or squash, either one, but today I'm going to be using pumpkin. And I'm also going to use some Parmesan cheese to finish it at the end, because it doesn't really need any cream. Now, you can use plant-based Parmesan cheese, or you can use dairy real Parmesan cheese. It just depends on your preference. And the stock today, we're using vegetable stock, but you could also use chicken stock. Okay, now we're going to add our olive oil. Going to add a couple of tablespoons. And we'll heat it up. We're just going to wait for it to start shimmering in the pan. And you can kind of see. If you look kind of to the side, you can see it just like little ripples in it. That's what shimmering is. Also, you can just add a tiny bit of product, and if it starts to sizzle, then you know it's ready. So now you can see it's just starting to sizzle a little bit. While that's working, I'll go ahead and get my stock ready to go. Okay, so we can see the oil is shimmering in the pan, and it's starting to cook. So I have my stock over here. The secret to good risotto is a very hot stock, because if it's not hot, it'll take a lot longer to cook your product. All right, so we'll add the onions. Just have one small chopped onion and about a teaspoon of garlic. This is a kind of a mild dish. So we'll get that going. I'll turn it down a little. Okay, Now I'm going to add my risotto. Just going to bring the temperature down a bit of the onions. You want to cook this over medium heat because you don't want it to boil out before the grain cooks, but you don't want it to take too long to cook too. All right. So I'm going to start. I'm going to add some of my stock. About 3/4 of a cup just to get it going. Now also what you want to do at this point is add salt. Because like, you know, when you salt pasta water, you want to add some salt. And I'm going to add some Parmesan garlic salt. I'm sorry, some parsley garlic salt. So I'm going to add some garlic salt because this will get absorbed right away. And it'll cook into the product. Certain things you want to salt at the beginning, a lot of things you want to salt at the end. So you just want to keep stirring and let each spoon of liquid evaporate. And when it evaporates, that's when you'll put in the next one. Now, farro takes a little bit longer to cook than arborio rice. And there are also some instant farros that cook in about 10 minutes out too that are available on the market. But if you just cook regular pearled farro, it'll take about 20 to 25 minutes of stirring. And you'll just keep stirring and taste it along the way to see how it's done. You want it to be a little bit al dente when you cook it. So I'll just keep stirring here and I'll come back midway through. All right, so I think it's looking good. I think we can put the pumpkin in at this time. Now mine is really soft because I cooked it that way and I want it to be more of a creamier addition to the farro. I want it to kind of break up and just incorporate into it. But you can cook it firm and add it and it would just be a little bit firmer. So I'm adding it in to warm it and kind of smashing it a bit to incorporate it in. It's getting a little dry, so I'm going to add a little bit more stock. Yum. Looks terrific. Alright, so this would be a good time to taste. How it tastes. Very nice. The rice is a bit al dente, but that's okay. I'm going to turn the heat off now and add my cheese. I'm going to end up adding, let's say a half a cup. Wow, that looks really good. It's come together really nicely. It's nice and creamy. Beautiful. Do the double spoon method. Try again. See if it needs any salt. I don't think it needs salt, but it could use, I'm going to put some white pepper in it. About 1/4 teaspoon. Put a little bit more cheese in. Makes it nice and creamy. All right, so let's try it. Let's see. Yum. Put a little cheese on the top for garnish. It's really creamy, you know, because I cooked the pumpkin to a soft stage. You could even use canned pumpkin in this very easily. It just made it more creamier without any butter. Gotta blow. Wow, it's really nice. That first bite, you hit that, you get a smooth taste of the pumpkin, and then the crunch and the al dente of the farro. It's a little bit crunchy. It's really nice. The cheese and the stock, very simple dish, right? You can pull it together very easily. You could put a little truffle oil on it. You could put some saffron in the stock if you wanted to as well. But I think it's lovely just the way it is. Thank you for coming. I hope you make this dish. It's really, really easy, and it goes so well with so many wonderful foods of the season. Great.